Hey, my name's Steve Berra. I'm a pro skateboarder, and I also am part owner of the Barracks with Eric Costin. And I've been skateboarding for 25 years, and I've actually never done drugs or drank alcohol or smoked cigarettes in my whole life. I was real focused, like I want to be a pro skateboarder. Here I am, I'm super poor. My parents split up. It was even rougher on my mom and I. I'm like, okay, this is really kind of my only shot. I'm going to give it all I got, because I have to work really hard at something. Mm-hmm. And so something like partying just didn't really seem to, it just seemed disingenuous to me. All the time. I get pressured all the time. Now, I'm 38 now, so it's like, people don't pressure me as much, but when I was younger and all the tours that I went on and all the people that I know, I was like, I want to be the first person to get you wasted. I want to be there when you're wasted. Man, you're so funny or crazy or whatever when you're sober. I would love to see you wasted. Like, I wouldn't, Yeah. So, yeah, definitely, there's a lot of pressure out there. In the culture, I think even in the skateboard culture, there's a lot of pressure. The standards of the magazines and stuff have definitely lowered in the sense that they've catered to that like party culture, which I never necessarily agreed with, because it's already out there anyway. I feel like the icons and the heroes of skateboarding don't need platforms to push something that's already a tough enough sort of time of life for a young person. We don't need to make it a virtue, because it's really not. And some people come out, and they're fine, like extraordinarily, talented or resilient individuals. But for the majority of people and unfortunately that's what you hear the stories of, the guys that have like gone through this really deep dark period and then came out of it. But they're these insanely resilient and talented people where, unfortunately, the majority of the people that are influenced by those people don't have that same kind of resilience, and it ends up being, this downward spiral that they can never kind of get out of. The decision to not be a partier or do drugs or drink or anything was going to, affect my life as I got older in a way more positive way than it was going to the people who decided to really be people wake up 10 years later and they don't know where their 20s went, and then they're 30 and they have really bad skin and wrinkles under their eyes and they're living in the same apartment that they lived in 10 years prior, where they had dreams and goals and things that they wanted to accomplish, but going out became a lot more important or easier than trying to confront the fact that accomplishing those goals and dreams are pretty fucking hard. I don't really think the trajectory of my life would have been the same had I been a party monster. I don't think I would have. Well, one, the amount of things that I've been able to do and create never would have happened if I would have spent my time going to parties, because really there's a party every night. Always. There's always a party. Everyone, there's always someone partying, and you can always find the address, and if I would have taken up all the times that I was actually invited to a party, if I would have taken up people on their offers, I would probably have accomplished maybe a quarter of what I've accomplished in my life. And to me, I always wanted so much more. So maybe it's just I'm an egomaniac, or maybe I'm greedy, or maybe I believe way too much in myself. But I just am not satisfied, and never have been, with being just a pro skateboarder. And I definitely didn't want my life to be defined by being a pro skateboarder and having the most interesting thing in my life happen when I was 19 years old. You know, so I, like, you know, those poor guys that, for me, like, they fly to the moon, you know, when they're in their 20s, and then they have to talk about it for the next 50 years. You know, and I just didn't want that to happen. I always thought that, like, you know, I wanted my life to be, when skateboarding was over, I kind of always prepared for the time when skateboarding would end, that I would be just as successful as whatever I would do next as I was as a skateboarder, so that my life wouldn't be defined by something I did, you know, when I was young. You know, fortunately, and I think the reason why I've been able to be pro for 20 years now, and that I don't look like an old man, is that I didn't party, you know, and it's kept me and my body strong enough to stay relevant all this time, and to, you know, also use my time to focus on other things so that I can be more successful when I'm done. So, I mean, look, yeah, one life and one chance, and maybe I'm too greedy, but I'd like to use it accomplishing the most I can accomplish. And for someone who I don't believe is really has like God-given talents, that's what I got to do. One life, one chance.